They're a little bit, I guess, easier to digest. Because yeah, when I use the clips, I cut out all the music and stuff, and it's just me gabbing and no breaks. So it's just like 10 to 15 minutes of the stuff. And yeah, if you want to check that out, go to YouTube, and then my YouTube channel is Charles Lamson's webcam video. I know, stupid channel name, but whatever. And anyway, yeah, you go to that channel and you'll see a bunch of clips of previous shows. And I don't know, I'm getting, I don't know, pretty good feedback from the YouTube clips. And not only that, I get lots of comments and suggestions. And on the at the YouTube site, and I appreciate that. So keep the comments and the corrections coming. Got to keep me honest sometimes, because when I talk about this way out stuff, sometimes I can elaborate a little bit, and but it's not easy filling up 2 hours. Sometimes I talk a little shit, but yeah. So somebody has to, you guys got to keep me honest, and that's your duty. That's your job as listeners to keep me from talking too much shit. But alrighty. Also, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, this is an interactive show as well. So if you want to call in, uh, yeah, sometime I might leave you hanging for a couple of minutes. It's not intentional. It's just it's hard for me to. Yeah, I check the switchboard. I don't know, every 10 minutes or so. But so yeah, just be if you call in, I don't answer right away. Just be patient. I'll get to you. And that number is 917-932-8806. Once again, that is 917-932-8806. Also, we have a chat room. If you want to access to that chat room, just come to my Blog Talk Radio site, which is blogtalkradio.com/Charles Lamson. And yeah, then look for the chat link. It moves around sometimes, so you gotta look for it sometimes. But anyway, yeah, come on over to the chat room and say hi, and drop some suggestions in there. I always like that. But alrighty. All right. Well, let's. I guess I want to try and finish up this ancient astronaut stuff today. I guess we spent about the last, I don't know, what, 2 or 3 days on it or something. But just check out these reptoids, man. It's always interesting stuff. Yeah, I was just, I don't know. I think yesterday I was just sort of talking about the different reptoid myths that are around the world. Yeah, it seems like almost every culture has a myth or a story, ancient myth or ancient story about these really wise serpent-like creatures that sort of helped them along in their early evolution. Uh, and yeah, I think I got about as far as the dragon in the Far East, and I didn't even touch on the Middle East. And yeah, so the Middle East, they have reptilian beings that range from certain jinn, which are jinn are kind of like Islamic in Islamic lore or Arabian lore, what have you. Jinn are kind of like sort of troublesome spirits. Sometimes they're thought of as actual demons. I guess the best Western analogy I can draw to a jinn would be more like a poltergeist or something like that. But I don't know, jinns seem to play a little bit wider of a role over there. For example, yeah, the word genie actually comes from jinn. But anyway, so in the Middle East, reptilian beings range from certain jinn to dragons, and serpent men have been spoken of since ancient times. in one of the apocryphal books, purporting to be the lost book of Jasher, a serpent race is described. And of course, I think we're all familiar, being creatures of Western civilization, I think we're all familiar with the book Genesis, where God punishes the serpent for deceiving Eve into eating, eating the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Uh, yeah, I wish I could get. Yeah, I wish I could get that direct quote where it says something to the effect of, "Behold, the serpent was the most subtle of the beasts God had created," or something like that. I could dig up the quote right now, but and, by golly, well, shoot, no, I won't. But anyway, he punishes this serpent being by says, "Upon thy belly thou shalt go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of your life." And so traditionally, many have felt this implied that the serpent, a snake or reptile, had legs before them. Uh, so in Western art, it is often portrayed as a humanoid, even a woman with a snake's tail and sometimes lizard-like feet. Um, I think, there's this medieval artist. I think his name was Bosch, and he had a painting called "The Last Judgment." And I think that's where that's uh, depicted as well. Um, and also, of course, in the Middle Ages down to modern times, the devil is often conceived of as a humanoid with reptilian characteristics, as were demons and were in general. Um, the New Testament in Revelations, chapter 12, verse 9, identifies the serpent of Genesis as Satan himself, the dragon, devil, Satan, ancient serpent. Gives insight from another angle. So, the serpent in the Garden of Eden was Satan himself, according to a lot of people, a beautiful supernatural being, either called a serpent symbolically or because he manifested himself, commonly in a dragon or serpent-like form. Okay, let's see here. Let me check out this YouTube thingy here real fast and make sure I don't overshoot my mark on that. So I got about a couple more minutes. All right, so in Africa, some shaman actually what's that guy's name? That South African. Do not recall offhand. Oh man, I was just listening to a show about him last week. Oh well, I can't remember, but the guy who is on the David Icke videos, and he's been on a couple other videos. But yeah, he's a pretty famous shaman from South Africa, and anyway, a lot of the shaman down there, they claim to have extensive esoteric knowledge of a race of reptilians called the Chituri or Chituri, and they say that these beings actually control the earth. They also claim to have accounts of a reptilian race who created them, being the Africans, and created and used them to work their gold mines. Which is kind of funny because that fits hand in hand with a lot of Zachariah Stitchin's stuff and his books, The Earth Chronicles, where, granted, the main settlement was in Sumeria, or ancient Sumeria, between the Tigris and Euphrates, but their gold mines were in Africa. So, yeah, it just sort of does fit with, and they created, according to Stitchin, human slaves. Well, I guess human alien hybrid slaves to work the gold mines. and that's where we come from. Yeah, and I don't know. This is kind of a stretch, but yeah, a lot of people claim because this Egyptian god Sobek was portrayed as a man with the head of a crocodile. That's more evidence. I don't know. I think that was more just. I mean, I'm not going to claim to know because I wasn't in ancient Egypt at the time, but it seems like a lot of their ancient art like that was very fanciful, and men having the heads with dogs or jackals or what have you. So I don't really. But all right, let me go ahead and fix this YouTube clip here. Get that ready to go.